ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, so can I start?
Yes,
Okay,
we can start.
Okay, so last class we have seen about what else in the previous class? Who remember? Anyone? What else in the previous class? Yes, who remember?
Performance evaluation.
Performance evaluation. So what is performance evaluation? Or performance evaluation or performance appraisal? Which one is correct?
Performance appraisal.
Performance appraisal. So what is performance appraisal? Yes, what is performance appraisal? What do you conclude from our previous presentation? What do you conclude? Yes. So from the previous presentation, what's that is message you taken?
Hello, doctor.
Okay.
Can I come in? It's Santayo.
Santa, you're welcome. So,
Where is this? The second part was performance appraisal, and performance appraisal is a systemic evaluation
okay.
whereby we identify weaknesses and strengths of employees, opportunities and improvement areas where we can develop the skills of our employees.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Santayo. So that is a systematic evaluation on what area? The systematic evaluation of what? Personality, personal characteristics, attitude, behavior, action, or what are that is what? The area that will then evaluate systematically. That is a systematic evaluation of a personality or a systematic evaluation of a behavior, systematic evaluation of personality, systematic evaluation of attitude, systematic evaluation of action, or systematic evaluation of then accomplishment, which is that is what the central area of our evaluation or conduct performance appraisal. Which one is our focusing area? Personality, attitude, behavior, or other personal characteristics. Then when I've seen that is performance appraisal, then Sintayo said that is what? A systematic evaluation of on what area? Yes? Systematic evaluation of personality, no, behavior, no, attitude, no.
His personality. No, his performance, I mean, I think.
Performance.
Whatever behaviors, whatever
Okay.
ability, whatever skills, the sum of this all as human being towards the performance, ያላቸውን impact አይተን
Okay.
ስለሱ behavior ምንማረው ወይም ደግሞ ምንተቸው critics የምናደርገው ነገር ሊኖር ይችላል at the end of the
How
day
do you measure
his performance
how do
his
you measure
performance-
behavior? How do you measure behavior? How do you measure behavior? I think difficult to measure behavior. So how do you measure behavior? What are the parameters? What are the criteria? What are that's a point to measure the behavior of an individual or personal behavior of an individual? How do you measure? Other students, how do you measure? What have you seen in the previous class? The previous class already you have seen about performance appraisal. What is performance appraisal? The importance of performance appraisal, problem in performance appraisal, method of performance appraisal. And also we have seen about the different issues related to this performance appraisal. So how do you measure a behavior? How do you measure? And also what are the central area or focusing area to measure the performance of an individual? And how do you measure the performance of organization? How do you measure performance of our organization? How do you measure performance of individual? What are our focusing area? Yes? Have it? No idea? None?
Oh, doctor.
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, doctor. Can I come in?
Sintayo?
Yeah.
Okay, for the second time. Then
If there is no other student.
it's better to give chance for other
Okay.
students.
Okay, sir.
Hello, doctor.
Okay, other students? Other
This is
students.
Wastanna. Hello, doctor.
Okay, Wastanna, welcome.
Thank you.
You're also one of active participants.
Thank you. I think when we show the employees' performance appraisal, the company first give us a standard.
Okay.
The department or the overall organization of put the overall objective of that organization as a standard to check or to evaluate each performances based on that standard.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it is correct. So
may I say something, doctor, in this case?
Okay.
And
ካሁን
በፊት አንድ የገጠመኝ ነገር ነበርና ምናልባትም just in case እኔም ኢንተርናላይዝ እንዳደርገው የምፈልግ ነገር ስላለ ነው። ወደ ባንኪንግ ኢንስቲትዩሽን አካባቢ ነውና የምሰራው ኖርማሊ አንድ በእኛ ባህል በተለይ ደግሞ በቅርንጫፎች ባህል አንዳንድ ጊዜ ከአንድ ቅርንጫፍ ወደ ሌላ ሰው ትራንስፈር ያደርጋሉ ሰዎች አንድ ቦታ ላይ በፐርፎርማንስ በኩል እንዲሁ በፐርፎርማንስ አብሬስ ሲደረግ ፐርፎርማንስ ላይ ሎው የነበረን ሰው በቢሄቪየር መጥፎ ነው ተብሎ የሚሳል ሰው ሌላ ኤንቫይሮንመንት ለምሳሌ እኔ የሱ ሱፐርቫይዘር ነበርኩኝና የልጁ ሱፐርቫይዘር ሁለተኛ ጊዜ ከመጣልኝ በኋላ ማለት ነው ዘን ከሌላ ቅርንጫፍ ወደዚህኛው ቅርንጫፍ በሚመጣበት ሰዓት ይዞት የመጣውን ዳታ አለ ባክግራውንድ አለ ነገር ግን እኔ ጋር ከመጣ በኋላ የሚገርም ፐርፎርማንስ ወይም ደግሞ የሚገርም ሪሌሽንሺፕ ከሰዎች ጋር በዛ ላይ ደግሞ ወደ ፕሮዳክት ሪክሩትመንት አካባቢ ነውና የምንሰራው ሪክሩት ያደረገው እንኳን አንኤክስፔክትድ በአንድ አመት የሚባል ሊሰራ የሚችል በአንድ ወር ከ20 ቀን አካባቢ የሚሰራበት አጋጣሚ የተሰራበት አጋጣሚ ነበርና ይሄ ማለት ፐርፎርማንስ ላይ በጣም ፒክ የሆነ ፐርፎርማንስ ስኮር ያደረገበት አጋጣሚ ነው ማለት ነው ለኔ ይሄ ከዛ በኋላ የነበረኝ ጀጅመንታል ወይም ደግሞ ታንታላይዚንግ የሚባል አስተሳሰብ አለ ይሄ ፕሪ ኢቫሉዌሽን ወይም የሰዎችን የሚሰጡኝ ዳታ ከማይ ፍሪሊ ሰዎችን እንዲሁ የሱን ኤሪያ የት አካባቢ በተሰራ ይሻላል በማለት የሚሰራበትን ኤሪያ ፍሪ ለቀኸው ምናልባት የሚያመጣቸው አዳዲስ ነገሮች ይኖር ይሆናል በያስባልና ይሄ ቢሄቪየር ላይ ማተኮራችን የሰዎችን ባክግራውንድ ላይ ወይም ይሄ እዚ ቢሄቪየር አስፔክት ማተኮራችን ኦፍ ኮርስ ይሄንን ኮርሱ ገብቶኛል ኖርማሊ ያለው ቢሄቪየር ላይ ማተኮራችን ለዚህኛው ፐርፎርማንስ ያመጣው ኢፌክት ግን አይ ዋንትድ ይሄ ቢሄቪየር ላይ ከመናተኮር ምናልባት ሰውየውን ላይ ያለውን ኔጌቲቭ የሚመስል ፖዚቲቭ የሚሆንበት አጋጣሚዎችስ ለምን አናይም የሚል ጥያቄ አለኝ ኖርማሊ ኔጌቲቭ ይመስላል it looks like negative አርፋጅ ነው ይሄ ልጅ is not punctual ከከስተመር ጋር ዛሬ ስጣላ ባየው ነገር ግን የሆነ ኤሪያ ሰጥቼው ባክ አካባቢ ያሉትን በጣም ኢንተሌክቹዋል ወይም ደግሞ ኤክስፐርቶች የሚሰሩት ኤሪያ ላይ ደግሞ በጣም ማስተር የሆነ ልጅ ሊሆን ይችላል እዛ አካባቢ ደግሞ ኢንተሌክቹዋሊ ደግሞ ወደዚህ ወደ ኢሞሽን አካባቢ ወደ ከስተመር አምጥተን ነው በጣም የሚገርም ቢሄቪየር ያለው ሰው ነው እንደዚህ የመሳሰሉ ነገሮች ይገጥሙኝና ያው እንደው ያንተ ፊድባክ ደግሞ እዚህ ጋር የተወሰነ ነገር ጨምሮልኝ ባይንጄ ላይ ወይም ደግሞ የሚያስተካክለኝም ነገር ካለ ለማየት ፈልጌ ነው
anyone okay thank you Tasfakiros anyone who have an idea to add something on this maybe Tesfa Kiros, or it may be other new ideas? Anyone regarding to this performance appraisal issues? Anyone who have this an idea or who have any information to say something about performance appraisal? Maybe that the issue regarding to this Tesfa Kiros ideas or information? Yes. So shall we continue the topic? Yes. Please say something. Okay, Santayo, welcome.
Well, stay, Doctor. Tesfa Kiros ያነሳው ጉዳይ በየቦታው የሚገጥም ሰዎች የመመዘኛ መስፈርታችን ምንድነው ብለን እንድንል የሚያደርገን ነገር ነው።
ኦኬ
ከተለያየ ቦታ የሚመጡልን ይዘውት የሚመጡት ፐርፎርማንስ ኢቫሉዌሽንን አፕሬዛሉን ካየነው ተቃራኒ ከሰዎቹ ፐርፎርማንስ ጋር ተቃራኒ የሆነ ነገር ልናገኝበት እንደምንችል ግልጽ ነው። ይሄ መሰረታዊ ችግራችን ኢቫሉዌተርስ እኔ እንደምረዳው ምዘና ስናካሄድ ጆብ ኦሪየንትድ ሆነን ወይም ስራውን ሳይሆን እየመዘንን የምንልከው የሰዎችን ፐርሰናል ባህሪና ከኛ ጋር ያላቸው ሪሌሽን ብቻ እንደነበረ ነው የምረዳው። ከዚህ የሚመነጩ በርካታ ድክመቶችን በምዘና ስርዓታችን ውስጥ እንዳለ ያሳየናል። ተስፋ ኪሮስም እንዲህ አይነት ችግር እንደገጠመው ነው። በርካቶች ብዙ ቦታ ላይ የሚገጥመን ችግርም ይሄ ነው። መጀመሪያው ነው ተቋማዊ የሆነው የመመዘኛ ስታንዳርዳችን የሴት ያደረግነው ሩልስ ፕሮሲጀርስ ጠቅላላ ፎከስ የሚያደርጉት ሪሌሽንስ ማተርስ ላይ ነው እና ሰዎች ምን ስኪል አላቸው፣ ምን ኳሊቲ አላቸው፣ የትኛውን ኳሊቲያቸው ልናወጣ እንችላለን፣ ዲቨሎፕስ እንዴት እናደርገዋለን የሚለው ላይ ፎከስ አድርገን አናቅም። ከዚህ ይመስለኛል የተስፋ ኪሮስ ይሄ ችግር የገጠመው። አመሰግናለሁ።
Yes, Santayo. Thank you. So when I say that performance appraisal, that the problem of performance appraisal starts from it is objective. መጀመሪያውን በቃ ፐርፎርማንስ አፕሬዛል ችግሩ የሚነሳው በቃ ስንነሳ ገና ፐርፎርማንስ አፕሬዛል ሰዎችን የምንገመግምበት አላማ ነው። ስንነሳ ራሱ ገና ስንነሳ አሳን ኦብጀክቲቭ ሴት የምናደርገው ነገር ሮንግ ነው። to say that is what he is not best performer በቃ ስንነሳ ራሱ ጥሩ ፈጻሚ አይደለም ወይም አይደለችም የሚለውን conclude ለማድረግ ነው ምንነሳው ስንነሳ so wrongly set የምናደርገው ኦብጀክቲቭ ራሱ at the beginning wrong ነው so when you start from a wrong starting point all the process is wrong then the output also wrong the feedback the outcome also wrong the output also wrong the impact also it may be wrong ስንነሳ ለምንድን ነው የምንገመግመው ብለን ስንነሳ ራሱ በቃ እንደው ሰው ድክመቱንና ጥንካሬውን አውቆ ዘንድ ድክመቱን ወደ በጥንካሬው ተጠቅሞ ዘን ኦቨርካም አድርጎ የተሻለ ሰው እንዲሆን ሳይሆን ዘን በቃ እሱ ጥሩ ፈጻሚ ነው አይደለም ወይም ነች አይደለችም ብለን ጀጅ ለማድረግ ብቻ ነው የምንነሳው። ለዛም እኮ ነው ፐርፎርማንስ አፕሬዛል ሰዎች ኢቫሉዌት ከተደረጉ በኋላ ፋይላቸው ውጤታቸውን እንኳን ሳያዩ በኃላፊ ፊርማ ዳይሬክትሊ ፋይል ላይ አታች የሚደረገው እኮ at the beginning objective then to not identify that the weakness and strengths of an individual objective ራሱ ይሄን ስላልሆነ ነው so in the previous class also already says that is what we have seen about many of things or issues that relate to about the problem of performance appraisal then ምን ችግር አለበት ብለናል performance appraisal many of problems are there አንዱ ከምን ይነሳል የምናዘጋጀው ስታንዳርድ ራሱ ክራይቴሪያውም ራሱ ቬግ ነው ክሊር አይደለም ለምሳሌ ባለፈው ምን ብያለሁ ዘን በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ይሄ ፎርስድ ቾይስ ሜተድ ነው የምንጠቀመው ሶ ከአንድ እስከ 5 አለ ሶ 5 ምን ሰርቶ ነው 5 አንድ ምን ያደረገ ነው አንድ ኳንቲፌብል አይደለም ኦብጀክቲቭ አይደለም So the same person ሁለት ኃላፊዎች ኢቫሉዌት ቢያደርጉት አንዱ 5 ሊሰጠው ይችላል ከሱ ፐርስፔክቲቭ ምን ብለናል ባለፈው ደግሞ ይሄ አንዳንድ ሰው ነገሮችን ሁሌ መልካም ናቸው ብሎ የሚያስብ ሰው አለ አንዳንድ ነገሮችን ሁሌ አጨልሞ የሚያይ ሰው አለ ስለዚህ በቃ ይሄ ሁለት ሰዎች አንድ ሰው ቢገመገሙት አንዱ 80 ቤት አንዱ ደግሞ የሆነ ምናምን ሊሰጠው ይችላል so exact አይደለም ሜጀር የምናደርገው when I'm saying evaluate the behavior also the behavior we have to say what the reflection of attitude that is what behavior is action oriented so when you evaluate the behavior find individual who are not focused on that is his or her action ከድርጊቱ አይደለም የምንነሳው ከድርጊቱ ነው then behavior means ድርጊት ነው ብለናል ሰው ከሚያደርገው ነገር ሳይሆን ምን ኢቫሉዌት የምናደርገው then በሌለው በምናባዊ ሁኔታ ውስጥ ሆነን ሁሉ ኢቫሉዌት የምናደርግ wrongly practice ይደረጋል ስለዚህ ውጤቱም wrong ነው የሚሆነው so ቅድም ተስፋ ኪሮስ እንዳለው ዘንዋት አንዳንድ ሰዎች የሆነ ጥሩ ፐርፎርም የሚያደርጉበት ኤሪያ አለ አንዳንዶች ሰምዌር ደግሞ በጣም ፐርፎርም የሚያደርጉበት ወለ ጆብ ፐርፎርማንስ አፕሬዛልም እኮ የሚያስፈልገው ይሄ ነው ፍሮንት ላይን ላይ ከከስተመር ጋር የማይስማማ ከሆነና ባክ ላይ ጥሩ ፐርፎርም የሚያደርግ ከሆነ ዘን ይሄንን ግምገማውን አይተን ዘንዋት እዚህ ቦታ ሊሰራ ቤስት ፐርፎርመር ይሆናል ዘን የምንፈልገው ዋናው ዓላማችን ሞር ፕሮዳክቲቭ ማድረግ ነው ሰራተኞቻችን viable for the organization ማድረግ ነው ግባችን ስለዚህ ምን እናደርጋለን ባክ ላይ እንዲሰራ አድርገን ፍሮንት ላይን ላይ ደግሞ ሌሎች ሰራተኞችን አምጥተን ብናሰራው ፐርፎርማንስ አፕሬዛል ውጤታማ ይሆናል ማለት ነው በቃ ከከስተመር ጋር ተስማማ ምናምን ብለን ግን then conclude አድርገን ፑር ፐርፎርማንስ ሪዛልት አስቀምጠን ብንሄድ then the problem is not the person himself or herself as a manager we are wrong as a manager wrong so this is that is performance appraisal is the systematic evaluation on his or her job and his or her potential areas not personality personality means a stable state of behavior that reflected for long period of time but most of the time when I'm saying personality we align with that is wearing style or physical body personality ስንል ግን ሰው ብዙ ጊዜ አለባበሱ ወይም አለባበሱ ጥሩ ከሆነ ዋው ዛሬ ፐርሰናሊቲው እንላለን that is wrong ወይም በቃ ፊዚካል ጥሩ አትራክት የሚያደርግ ከሆነ ዋው ፐርሰናሊቲው ወይ that is wrong personality is a stable state of behavior that reflects for long period of time or for many times ተመሳሳይ ነገር that is አንዳንድ ሰው በቃ ሚጮህ ከሆነ always ስለዚህ ፐርሰናሊቲው በቃ መጮህ ሆኗል ማለት ነው ወይም ዝም የሚል ሰው ዝምተኛ ሆኗል ፐርሰናሊቲው የሆነ ጊዜ የሚጮህ የሆነ ጊዜ እንትን የሚል ምናምን ከሆነ that is not personality that is simply behavior ሲደጋገም ግን many times personality ይሆናል personality so most of the time when that is performance appraisal well, as a manager we are focused on personality than his or her action ድርጊቱ ላይ ተመርኩዘን አይደለም ኢቫሉዌት የምናደርገው ሰው ውጤቱም ኢምፓክቱም everything is wrong ይሆናል because የተነሳንበት ኦብጀክቲቭ wrong ስለሆነ then outputም outcomeም impactም wrong ነው የሚሆነው that is a major problem in the case of performance appraisal especially in our country context so then we'll directly go to today's class we'll see about compensation what is compensation what are the element of compensation and what are the type of compensation so we'll directly go to what is compensation which is another element or component of human resource management then the first element or component of human resource management as you know that is the first one is job analysis the second one is human resource planning the third one is yes human resource planning the next one is what recruitment then what selection then induction then orientation next to orientation that is training then development and next to development that is what performance appraisal next to performance appraisal the another element is compensation so ከተገመገመ በኋላ wrongly ወይም positive reinforcement positively reinforce መደረግ አለበት ወይም negatively reinforce መደረግ አለበት that is collectively known as compensation compensation is a general name of that is payment that may be salary that may be wage that may be incentive that may be bonus collectively known as a compensation so there are different types of compensation አፈጻጸሙ ሰው ከተገመገመ በኋላ ዘንድ ቻው ቻው ይባላል አፈጻጸም ፖሊሲው መርሁ የሚለው performance appraisal is always then aligned with incentive. If there is that is a performance appraisal evaluation mechanism, there must be what compensation mechanism also there. ግምገማ ካለ then compensation መኖር አለበት reward መኖር አለበት that the principle says. Not only the principle, the rules and the regulation also say this one. That is evaluation always then would be aligned or attached to it. That is what if the compensation if so if there is a performance appraisal there needs to be designed compensation mechanisms. So next to that is performance appraisal. The next element or component of human resource management is compensation. So what is compensation? We'll see. Then first we'll see better to say something about objective of compensation. What is the objective of compensation? One of the objective of compensation is to create a system of reward that equitable to employer and employee. And to the desired outcome an employee who is attracted to the work and motivated to do a job for employees. To attract the employees to the work and to motivate employees to do a good job for employer. But compensation is not the source of motivation. Motivation means that is what? A driving force to do different things, to search different things, or that is driving force is known as motivation. So one of the objective of compensation to create such a driving force. That means motivated employees have a willingness to exert their own efforts, their own energies, their own time towards accomplishment of organizational goal objectives. So one of the objectives of compensation is to attract employees to the work and to motivated employees to do a job for employers. But compensation must be effective. Compensation must be effective. So how do you measure whether that is compensation is effective or not? What is effective? What is efficiency? Already we have discussed in the that is what in the first class. Already we have seen about what is effectiveness and what is efficiency. So compensation is always expected to be that effective. So how do you measure whether that is a compensation is effective or not? One of the criteria to say that is compensation effective or not is adequacy. So compensation must be what? Adequate, which means a minimal governmental union in managerial level should be met. But in our country context, there is no such types of standard. አለን በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት በቃ ዌጅ ወይም የጉልበት ሰራተኛ የሚሆን ዴይሊ ወርከሮች በቀን ማግኘት ያለባቸው ሚኒመም ክፍያ ይሄ ነው ተብሎ ሴት የተደረገ ነገር አለ? Is there such type of standard? Not only then daily worker, also all employees. Is there a minimum required then standard payment? Yes? Is there such types of standard in our country? No. የለም በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት when it was to other country ማንኛውም የጉልበት ሰራተኛ ዴይሊ ማግኘት ያለበት ሚኒመም ዌጅ ሬት ተቀምጧል። ስለዚህ ሚኒመም ከዛ በታች ማንም እንትን አይከፈልም። ከዛ በታች ቢከፍልም ቅጣት አለ። minimum wage. When we come to in our country, let's say አሁን ብዙ ጊዜ ሚዲያም ላይ ሰምታችሁ ይሆናል ስፔሻሊ ፋብሪካዎች ወደኛ ሀገርም ሲመጡ ያው ቺፕ የሆነ ማን ፓወር አለ ነው ያው I am not agree on this idea cheap ወይም ርካሽ የሰው ጉልበት ይባላል በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት I'm not agree on this እዚህ ያለች ማማም ርካሽ የሚባል የለም ምናልባት ኤክሰስ ሊኖር ይችላል እንጂ human being by itself is not cheap nature የሰው ልጅ ክቡር የሚባለው አይነት ነውና so anyways በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ሚኒመም አሁን ለምሳሌ ጉልበት ሰራተኛ ፋብሪካ ላይ ምናምን የሚሰሩ ሚኒመም ክፍያ ስንት ነው የሚለው ነገር ሴት አልተደረገም የሆነ ጊዜ ያስታውሳለሁ ጊዮን ኦር ሂልተን ላይ ቀርቦ ለውይይት ሳይቋጭ በዛው እንደተበተነውና በሌላው ዓለም ግን ሚኒመም ዌጅ ስለዚህ ኢፌክቲቭ ነው አፌክቲቭ አይደለም የምንለው አንዱ ሜዠርመንት ክራይቴሪያችን adequate whether that compensation is adequate or not that meet a minimum governmental union or managerial then standard for payment or not if that meets we can say that the compensation is adequate but in our country context there is no such type of standard በቃ ሰራተኛው ኮሽ ካለ በአንድ ብርም በሁለት ብርም አሰራቶች አው ሊለው ይችላልና በእኛ ሀገር ሚኒመም ዌጅ ስታንዳርድ ስላልተቀመጠ በፋብሪካዎች አሁን ስትሄዱ ጉራማይሌ ነው አከፋፈሉ ተመሳሳይ ስራ እየሰሩ ግን አንዱ በጣም በቃ በዝቅተኛ ዋጋ ያሰራል አንዳንዱ ደግሞ ያው ትንሽ ፐርሰናሊቲ እንትን የሚለው ሰው የተሻለ ክፍያ ይከፍላል because standard ነው ስለሌላ I think ድምጽ የሰማው መሰለኝ ስንታየው
yes doctor ከዚህ ከአዲኩዌት ጋር በተያያዘ ሁለት ኢሹዎች አሉኝ
እሺ
አንደኛው ወጥ የሆነ ስታንዳርድ የለውም ብለን ብንስማማ እንኳን ዲፔንዲንግ በተለያየ ዘርፎች ለምሳሌ የመንግስት ሰራተኞችን ብንወስድ ያው ክፍያ ሳላሪ ነውና ሳላሪ ደግሞ ስኬል አለው
ኦኬ
ገቨርንመንት ሚኒመም ስኬል ዝቅተኛው የደሞዝ መጠን ስንት እንደሆነ አስቀምጧል እሱን መውሰድ አንችልም ወይ ሁለተኛው ደግሞ በግል ተቋማት ወይም በሌሎች የሌበር ዩኒየንስ አሉ ጠንካራ ሌበር ዩኒየኖች ሳላሪ ላይም ስኬል ላይም ኔጎሽየት የሚያደርጉ ተቋማት አሉ እነኛንስ ኮንሲደር ልናደርግ አንችልም ወይ ቅድም እርሶ ያነሱትን ነገርና እንደ ሀገር ከሌሎች በተለየ የለንም የሚለውን ተቀብዬ ማለት ነው እነኚህን ነገሮች ልናይ እንችልም ወይ የሚል ነገር አለኝ
yes already ይሄ በሚኒመሙ ይሄ ነው ተብሎ ሳይሆን ሳላሪም ሲቀመጥ እኮ already በቃ ስኬሉ ይቀመጣል እንጂ ከዚህ በታች ክፍያ ኤቭሪዌር የለም የሚል ሴት የተደረገ በህግም የተቀመጠ ስታንዳርድ የለው ደሞዝ ግን ይሄ ይሆናል ሌቭሉ ይሆናል ይሄ ይሆናል ይሄ በዚህ ደረጃ ያለ ይሄን ያገኛል ነው እንጂ ከዚህ በታች ተብሎ ሚኒመም ተቆርጦለት then እሱን መሰረት አድርጎ ሳላሪ ከሱ በላይ መሰረት አድርጎ ስኬሉ አልተሰራም already ስኬሉ ነው እንጂ የሚሰራው then አሁን በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ሚኒመም ኤቭሪዌር በፕራይቬት ይሁን በገቨርንመንትም ይሁን ኤኒዌር ሚኒመም ክፍያ ስንት ነው ሚኒመም ክፍያ ይሄ ሴት አልተደረገ ሚኒመም ክፍያ ስንት ነው በቃ ከዛ በታች ፕራይቬት ይሁን የመንግስት ይሁን የግል ይሁን ሶ ሳላሪም ሴት ስኬል ሴት ሲደረግ ያንቺን ሪፈረንስ ፖይንት ይዞ ደሞዝን ከዛ በላይ ምን ነገር የለውም ሶ ስኬሉ ይቀመጣል ግን የመጨረሻው ግን ሚኒመሙ ስንት ነው ሲዛና ሚኒመሙ የመጨረሻው ስንት ነው አይታወቅም በቃ ኢንፍሌሽን ለምሳሌ በ10% ይደግ በ5% ይደግ ደሞዛቸው ዘን ከስንት በታች ግን መሆን የለበትም የሚለው ነገር የለም በእኛ ሀገር ሚኒመም የተቀመጠው ምንድነው ታክስ ሬት ላይ ነው ታክስ ላይ ለምሳሌ እስከ በፊት 150 ነበር አሁን 600 ከ600 ወይም ከምናምን በታች ከሆነ ፍሪ ይሆናል ሶ ይታወቃል በቃ አክሮስ ዘ ካንትሪ ያ ፕራክቲስ ይደረጋል አክሮስ ዘ ካንትሪ then በፔመንት ኮንቴክስት ግን ስንሄድ ሚኒመሙ ፔመንት ስንት ነው ሶ ከስንት ነው ሰዎች መክፈል የሚችሉት ሚኒመሙን ከዛ በታች መውረድ አይችሉም ግን ከዛ በላይ ሊሚት ነው እንትን ላይ መሄድ ይችላሉ የሚል ስታንዳርድ የለም then when goes to other country ግን ሚኒመሙ ይታወቃል በቃ ስለዚህ ደሞዝም ሴት ሲደረግ ያችን as reference ይወሰዳል ከዛ በላይ ነው ከዛ በታች ደሞዝ ምንም ትርፋማም ብንሆንም ባንሆንም ከዛ በታች ደሞዝ ትርፋማ ስላልሆነ ተብሎ ደሞዝም ከዛ በታች ስኬል አይቀመጥም then daily ቀን ሰራተኛው ሚኒመም የሚያገኘው per day አለ so ምንም ስራው ትንሽ የሚሆን ትልቅ ሚኒመም ትንሽ ስራ ከሆነ ሚኒመሙን ቢያንስ ይከፈለዋል so if that a compensation is meets this one then we can say that the compensation is adequate okay this clear Satayo
okay doctor thank you
okay so second criteria is equitable which means each person should pay fairly in line with his or her effort and ability and training which means the input is equals to output experience is equals to payment qualification is equals to incentive and payment that is known as equitability then motivation theory also says when individuals motivated when employees are motivated when input is equals to output otherwise no one is motivated to do more and more to do day and night which means inputs are what salary effort qualification and experience what output salary then incentive compensation or totally that is collective a compensation if the things are met we can say that the compensation is what equitable ችሎታ ወይም የሥራ ልምድ ወይም ኤክስፒሪየንስ ወይም ትምህርት ደረጃ አጠቃላይ እኩል ይሆናል ጥቅማ ጥቅም ጋር እኩል የሚያደርግ ከሆነ ኢኩቫለንት የሚያደርግ ከሆነ then compensation you can say that equitable ነው እንላለን motivation theory support የሚያደርገው እሱ ነው then when ሰዎች መቼ ነው ሞቲቬት የሚሆኑት input is equals to output over reward under reward ሲሆኑ motivated አይሆኑም ነው another criteria is balanced pay benefit other reward should be provide a reasonable total reward package reasonable which means over compensation under compensation is not effective so the compensation should be what balanced so another criteria is cost effective pay should not be excessive considering what organization can afford to pay but with the consideration of what a minimum payment standard cost effective
I'm sorry doctor
okay
between the two the balanced and the first one prior to that
okay balanced and
reasonable that one is reasonable the second one is in line with his the second one says in line with his effort
yes
equitable and balanced is there any difference I can't see
which one
second equitable and balanced payments
okay equitable and balanced equitable means each person should pay fairly in line with his or her effort ability and training በቃ ሰው በልፋቱ ልክ ማግኘት አለበት ነው equitability አይደል
yes
ሰው የሰራውን ያክል ያገኝ ነው በለፋው ልክ በሰራው ልክ ካገኘ ምን ነው compensation is we can say that equitable ነው when I say balanced ስንል ግን pay benefit and other reward should be provide reasonable toward package total reward package ጥቅማ ጥቅም ወይም አጠቃላይ ክፍያ መጋነን የለበትም reasonable means አሳማኝ መሆን አለበት አሳማኝ መሆን አለበት አንደኛ የልፋቱና ዘንወት የሚያገኘው ነገር መጣጣም አለበት ዘንወት ሁለተኛም ደግሞ ተጨማሪ ምን መሆን የለበትም መጋነን የለበትም ከተጋነነ ባላንስድ አይደለም at the same time equitable አይደለም ማለት
thank you
more or less ተመሳሳይ ነው ዘን ባላንስ መሆን አለበት ቶታል ሪዋርድ ፓኬጁን ምን መሆን አለበት ደሞዝ ሲደመር ቦነስ ሲደመር ጥቅማ ጥቅም ምናምን እያለ ዘን ከኢፈርቱ በላይ ኤክሰስ መሆን የለበትም yes
thank you doctor yeah
okay another one is cost effective then another criteria is secure pay should be enough to help an employee feel secure and him or her satisfy basic needs. Secure. ኑሮውን ማሟላት መምራት የሚችልበት at least basic needs ማሟላት የሚችል መሆን አለበት. If the compensation is cannot meet this one, then the compensation is not then effective. So when you have to say effective, so the compensation when that is what? Secure. That means at least it can cover his or her basic needs. Then another criteria is incentive providing. Pay should be motivated, effective and productive work. Motivate effective and productive work. ሰዎችን ኬርለስ የሚያደርጋቸው የሚያዘናጋቸው አይ በቃ ችግር የለውም የሚያስብል ከሆነ that the compensation is not effective. በቃ የተሻለ ነገር ወይም የሆነ እንትን ያገኘ ኬርለስ የሚያደርገው ከሆነ ignorant የሚያደርገው ከሆነ that compensation is not effective. So the compensation should motivate effective and productive work. When that is what such things are met, so the compensation we can say that effective. Another criteria is acceptable to employees. The employee should understand the pay system and feel it is a reasonable system for enterprise, he and himself or herself. But economists always said what? Human want is unlimited, resources limited. How do you make balance? Because no one is, that is what say, I'm satisfied. No one is say this is more than enough. Because human want is always what? Unlimited. Yes? So acceptable to employees. ማንም ሰው ሰራተኛ ያው እንደምታውቁት ይሄ በቂ ነው አይልም because የሰው ልጅ ፍላጎት ማለቂያ ስለሌለው but ምን መሆን አለበት ግን at least reasonable መሆን አለበት በሚለው ያስማማል. That is what the pay system and feel it's reasonable system for enterprise and himself or himself or herself, which is another criteria to say that the compensation is effective or not. Okay, then next we'll see. Okay, sorry. Next, we'll see factor affecting compensation. Factor affecting compensation. Compensation affected by many factors. One is policy. It is obvious. Policy. ለምሳሌ ማንኛውም መስሪያ ቤት የመንግስት ስፔሻሊ መንግስት kan አሁን ካስቀመጠው የመንግስት ስታንዳርድ መጨመርም መቀነስም አይቻልም. So that is what compensation affected by ጥቅማ ጥቅም ምናምን የሚባሉትም አሁን በኦዲት ግኝት በምናምን እያሉ already that standardized ይሆኑ ነው. ስለዚህ ምን ይሆናል? So the compensation one or another affected by that is policy. Affected by policy. So policy is one of the factor affecting compensation. So ማንም ሰው በፈለገው እንትን እንዳለው መክፈልም መስጠትም መንፈግም አይችልም ማለት ነው. So compensation is affected by policy. Another one is labor market. Labor market is another factor which affect or govern compensation, which means based on demand and supply. When supply less than demand, that compensation it may be high. When then demand less than compensation, less than supply, at this time that's a compensation it may be low. አቅርቦትና ፍላጎት then አቅርቦት ሲበልጥ as you know that is what አቅርቦት ሲበልጥ excess manpower ስለሚኖር ክፍያው በእኛ ሀገር ለምሳሌ አሁን እኮ የሌበር ማርኬቱ ሚኒመም ሴት ያልተደረገው excess manpower አለ በሚለው እሳቤ ነው። ስለዚህ ሴት ማድረግም አያስፈልግም then because then supply is greater than demand. ኢንዱስትሪዎች ገና ናቸው ኢንዱስትሪ በሰፋ ቁጥርና ዘን ብዙ ሰራተኛ በሚፈልጉ ሰዓት ክፍያውን በዛው ልክ እየጨመረ ይሄዳል so labor market is one of the factor another one is economy inflation and deflation inflation ያደርግ then compensation ይጨምራል deflation ያደርግ ደግሞ መቀነስ በዲፍሌሽን ኮንቴክስት የተወሰኑ አገሮች ላይ ነው ሲቀንስ የሚቀንሱ deflations happens ያደርግ ይቀንሳሉ በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ግን ያው አንዴ ከወጣ ነው አይደል በተለይ በማርኬቱ ሁኔታ ላይ ፕራይስ አንዴ ከወጣ ዲፊኒት ቢያደርግም then አይቀንስም but economy is one of the factors affecting compensation especially in the case of inflation another one is government and union another one is government and union especially if there is a strong union ጠንካራ እንትን ከሆነ then የማያስተካክልበት ምክንያት ምንም የለም then ተወሰኑ እንደውም የግል መስሪያ ቤቶች ላይ ስፔሻሊ ጠንካራ ዩኒየኖች ለሰራተኞቻቸው ተጨማሪ ጥቅም እንዲያገኙ ያስቻሉ ጠንካራ ዩኒየኖች አሉ so government and union is one of the factor affecting compensation so compensation affected by this factor policy labor market economy and government and union then next we'll see employee benefit and service benefit and service also that is the types of compensation so we can classify that is compensation into two employee benefit and service that is mandatory and voluntary ብለን በሁለት ልንከፍለው እንችላለን mandatory compensation and voluntary compensation direct and indirect financial non-financial ብለን compensation ልንከፍል እንችላለን በተለያየ ካቴጎሪ ክላሲፋይ እናደርጋለን so when I say indirect financial compensation is known as benefit and service the direct compensations are salary wage the direct compensations are salary and wage indirect compensations are benefit and service okay ስንታየው ናታን
ናትናኤል ነኝ
ናትናኤል እጃውጣታል መሰለኝ
አዎ እጃውጥቼ ነበር
ኦኬ
ምናልባት እንደ ጥያቄ ነው ለኔ ከዚህ ከኮምፐንሴሽን በተመለከተ ስፔሻሊ እነኚህ ጥቅሞች ከታክስ ጋር ያላቸው ነገር ምናልባት አንዳንድ ጊዜ የኤምፕሎይ ዊሊንግም ወይንም አክሰፕት በሚያደርገው ሌቨል ነው ብለናል ግን አንዳንድ ጊዜ ከዚህ ከታክሱ ጋር ካምፓኒው ይሄን ያህል ነው መሰጥ ይላል ግን በሚቆራረጥ ጊዜ ወተለይ ታክስ ሪሌትድ ሲሆኑ በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው የሚሆነው ምክንያቱም ትራንስፖርቴሽን እንኳን ኢቭን ለኛ ልክ እንደ ምንድነው እንደ ቤኔፊት ሆኖልን ነገር ግን ከዛ ላይም መንግስት ስለሚቆርጥ ትንሽ ዲሳቲስፋክሽን ያመጣልና በዚህ ላይ ትንሽ የሚሉን ነገር ቢኖር ብዬ ነው ታንክ ዩ
ኦኬ yes it is obvious ታክሴሽን ያለ ነው በአሁን በጸደቀው በአዲሱ ስፔሻሊ የታክስ ህግ መሰረት any income is accountable for tax ማንኛውም ጥቅም ማንኛውም ገቢ ታክስ መሆን አለበት የሚል ህግ ነው የተቀመጠው ባሁኑ ድሮ ያው እንደምታውቁት ስንማርም በአካውንቲንግ ትራንስፖርት አለዋንስ ሃውስ አለዋንስ አለዋንሶች ባለዋንስ ደረጃ ያሉ ፍሪ ታክስ ናቸው አሁን ባለው የታክስ ህግ መሰረት ግን any income ማንኛውም ገቢ ታክስድ መሆን አለበት የሚል ህግ ነው የተቀመጠው ሶ ከዛ አስፔክት ዲሳቲስፋክሽንን ሊፈጥር ይችላል but as you know that is money is the source of dissatisfaction but not the source of satisfaction then አንዳንድ ተቋማት እንደው ምን ያደርጋሉ ደሞዝ እንዳለ ሆኖ ተቆራርጦ ስለሚል ተጨማሪ ነገሮችን ታክስድ በማይሆን መልኩ ለከስተመሮቻቸውን ቤኔፊት ያደርጋሉ so ያው የታክስ ህጉ የሚመልሰው ነው የታክስ ህጉ ኦልሬዲ ያስቀመጠው any income ታክስድ መሆን አለበት የሚል ህግ ስለተቀመጠ ነው ኦኬ ናታን
አዎ ግልጽ ነው ታንክ ዩ
Okay, when I was in compensation, we can classify compensation into major classification, direct compensation and indirect compensation, which means financial compensation and non-financial compensation. When I've seen non-financial or indirect financials are known as benefit and service. Direct or financial compensations are known as salary and wage. So it can be defined all employer provided reward and service other than wage and salary raised from the following category: legally required social insurance payment, private insurance, retirement plan, payment for time not worked, extra cash payment, and all these are the types of compensation. So when I've seen employee benefits, we can categorize into two: mandatory benefit and voluntary benefits. What are these mandatory benefits? There are 3 mandatory benefits offered by private or non-profit and government organization employers mandated by federal and state governments. So an employer has no choice about offering a mandate benefit programs. Cannot change them in any way without getting involved in the political process to change existing laws. So there are 3 mandatory benefit programs. One is unemployment insurance, but this one also not practiced in our country. Unemployment is an individual problem. It is social problem. It is a country problem. It is government problem. It has different consequences, social, economical, and political. The unemployment insurance and mandated benefit program now, when international context, then social security and worker compensation. So the 3 benefits are known as mandated benefits. So one is unemployment insurance. So it provides a benefit to employees who meet the following condition, not for everybody. They are without a job, one of the criteria, have worked a minimum number of weeks, have applied to their state employment agency for unemployment compensation. ለስራ ቅጥር ድርጅት like in the ኢትዮጵያ ኮንቴክስት ኢትዮ ጆብስ ኤጀንሲዎች ስራ ለማግኘት ያመለከተ መሆን አለበት። have registered for available work ለማንኛውም ስራ ሰራለው ብሎ የተመዘገበ መሆን አለበት። are willing and able to accept any suitable employment offered them through their state unemployment compensation and designed to provide an income to individuals who have lost a job through no fault of their own. በቃ በራሳቸው አሁን ለምሳሌ በኮሮና ምክንያት ኮምፐንሴት አድርገዋል። ሌሎች ዓለሞች በኮምፐንሴት አስገዳጅ በሆነ ምክንያት በራሳቸው ችግር ባልሆነ ምክንያት ከስራ ውጭ ሲሆኑ እነኚህን ፕሪኮንዲሽኖች ካሟሉ they have the right to get compensation, which is known as unemployment insurance benefits, if an individual he or she fulfill all this precondition or criteria. But in our country, let's say, no, there is no such types of program or mechanism. Then the second one is social security. The social security system was established under the old age survivors and disability insurance. So this one is practiced in our country also. In Ethiopian context, now 7% from employee and 11% from employer. That is one of social security benefits. The third one is worker compensation. The third types of mandated benefits is worker compensation, which is employees who incur expense as a result of job-related illness or accident receive a degree financial protection from worker compensation benefits. Yes. በእኛም ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ኦልሬዲ ኢት ኢዝ ፕራክቲስ። የመጀመሪያዎቹ 3 ወራት ሙሉ ደሞዝ፣ ዘን የሚቀጥሉት 6 ወራት ግማሽ ደሞዝ፣ ዘን የሚቀጥለው 9 ወር ምናምን እያለ ከአመት በኋላ ዘን ለዚህ ለአደጋ ሲደርስበት ወይም ለአክሲደንት ሲደርስበት አይከፈልም የሚል ህግም አለ በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት። so which is one of worker compensation which is mandated። ስለዚህ የትኛው መስሪያ ቤት then አደጋ ደርሶብሃልና በቃ ደሞዝ አልከፍልህም ሊል አይችልም በ3 ወር ውስጥ አደጋ ደርሶብሃልና ምንም አይነት ጥቅማ አታገኝም ሊል አይችልም ለ6 ወር or something or ለአመት ስለዚህ which is one of mandated compensation. The worker compensation programs are administered individually by various states. Employer pay the entire cost worker compensation insurance. The cost of premium is tied directly to each employee past experience with job-related accident and illness. ምሳሌ በአሁኑ ጊዜ በግልም ይሁን በመንግስት ጡረታ አስገዳጅ so which is one of mandated benefits. Second types of benefit is voluntary benefits. In addition to the benefit required by the laws, many employers also provided other kind of benefit voluntarily. One is compensation for time not worked, insurance protection, and retirement plan. Let's say one of voluntary benefits is compensation for time off. Let's say in the time of holiday, let's say Maskan or Arafah or Christmas or others, any types of different types of holidays. We are not on the job, but we are paid. ተከፋዮች ነን ግን ስራ ላይ አይደለንም but ምን ብለናል ቅድም መርህ ላይ ስንነሳ በመርህ ስንነሳ ግን ፕሪንሲፕሉም ኢንተርናሽናል የሚያስቀምጠው ከሃይማኖት አስፔክትም ልናይ እንችላለን ማንንም ሰው ማግኘት ያለበት ለለፋበት ለሰራበት ነው ሆሊዴይ ላይ ማንንም ኦፍ ነው ከስራው ኦፍ የተወሰነ ከሆኑ የተወሰኑትም ኦን ዘ ጆብ ከሆኑ የሆሊዴይ የፓርት ታይም ክፍያ ይኖራቸዋል የራሱ ሬቱ ይለያል so which is voluntary ለምሳሌ የሆነ ጎስቶ በአሜሪካ ኮንቴክስት ከሄዳችሁ ለነ ሰዎች የሚያገኙት ለሰሩበት ስራ ብቻና ለሰሩበት ቀን ብቻ so which is one of voluntary compensation but when it comes to our country context in the day holiday vacation ሰዎች ለምሳሌ ለተለያየ እረፍት ሲወጡ በአመት ወር አለው በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት በአመት 30 working days based on the civil service 515 2007 ላይ article 37 1 እና 2 ላይ ሰራተኛ አንድ ወር በአመት ወይም 20 የስራ ቀናት ረፍት አሉት ስለዚህ anywhere vacation ይችላል or anywhere then መንቀሳቀስ ይችላል he or she is paid ተከፋዮች ናቸው በሌላው ዓለም ወይም ለሳያስ አን ኤግዛምፕል በአሜሪካ ኮንቴክስት ካየን ግን ለምሳሌ እንትኖች ወደኛ ሀገር ይመጣሉ ቱሪስቶች ወደ ኢትዮጵያ ሲመጡ ግን ወይም ኤቭሪዌር ሲሄዱ ስራቸውን ኦፍ ሆነው ነው የሚመጡ ስለዚህ ክፍያ የሚከፈለው በዛ ታይም ውስጥ የነሱን ስራ ከበር ላደረገው ግለሰብ ነው የሚከፈለው እንጂ ለነሱ አይከፈልም በሌላ በጃፓን በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ግን ቫኬሽን ላይ ዲዳክት አይደረግም compensation or salary which is one of voluntary compensation because ላልሰራንበት ላለፋንበት 20 ቀን ሙሉ ኦፍ ነን ከስራ ስለዚህ ኦፍ የሚሆነው ግን for sake of what basic need ስለሆነ ነው rest is a basic need from organizational context as a personal life basic need የምንላቸው shelter and clothes ምናምን food እነኚህ እንደምንል ሁሉ በኦርጋናይዜሽናል ኮንቴክስት ደግሞ basic need የምንለው እረፍትና ሳለሪ ናቸው ስለዚህ እረፍት ቤዚክ ስለሆነ ነው ዘን ሰው ማረፍ ስላለበት ነው ፕሮዳክቲቭ እንዲሆን ዘን ፕሮዳክቲቭ እንዲሆን ማረፍ አለበት ግን ጥቅማ ማግኘት አለበትም የለበትም it depends that differ country to country በአሜሪካ ኮንቴክስት ካየን then no one is paid for these days አይከፈልም ስራውን ከበር ላደረገው ግለሰብ ነው የሚከፈለው then another one is personal time off many employers give employees paid time off for let's say foreigners medical dental appointments sickness in the family religious observation marriage personal choice holiday and birthday ለምን ሁሉ ሰው ኦፍ ይሆናል ከስራ then compensation is not deducted So which is one of the voluntary benefit, personal time off. Then another one is sick leave. Most of employees of medium and large firms are protected from loss of income during the short-term disability due to non-work related sickness or injury. In Ethiopian case, employees are paid full for the first 3 months, half pay for the next 3 months, without pay for the last 2 months. አደጋ ካጋጠመው አንድ ሰው በእኛ ሀገር የሲቪል ሰርቪስ ሰራተኛ መመሪያ 515/2007 ላይ አርቲክል 42 ላይ በተቀመጠው መሰረት አንድ ሰራተኛ አደጋ ከደረሰበት ወይም ከታመመ ዘንድ ለ3 ወር ሙሉ ደሞዝ ለ6 ወር ለሚቀጥሉት ማለት ነው half ለሚቀጥሉት 2 ደግሞ ቦታው ይያዝለታል no payment እዛ ካለፈ ግን 1 አመት ሙሉ ካልተመለሰ ወደ ስራው ቶታሊ አግሪመንቱ ካንስል ይደረጋል ማለት ነው በእኛ ሀገር ያለው መመሪያ so which is one of which is voluntary compensation because principle ማንም ሰው የሰለፋበትን የሰራበትን ያገኝ ስለሚል ሁለት ሰው ሐሳብ አለው ሚል ናትናኤልና ማን ነው ይታያል ናትናኤል እንታያል
ዶክተር ናትናኤል ነኝ እኔ ቅድም የጠየቅኩት ነኝ
ኦኬ እጃ ይቼ ነው እዚህ ጋር
የቅድሙ ነው ዶክተር
ኦኬ ማታወስ ይታያል ይታይ ሰለሞን okay so these are the types of that is non voluntary compensation another voluntary compensation is maternity or parent leaves the demand faced by expected employees and working parents ለሰበኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ለሚወልዱ እናቶች 4 ወር ለባል 10 ቀን so which is one of voluntary compensation because they are off for these days ለ4 ወር የሚወልዱ እናቶች ለ10 ቀን ወንዶች ከስራ ኦፍ ናቸው ስለዚህ ለዚህ ግን there is no any deduction of salary or any compensation so which is one of then voluntary compensation a pregnancy determination article of 1978 amendment የሲቪል ራይትን መብት መሰረት አድርጎ የተዘጋጀ ነው so maternity leave benefits are usually limited to 6 months with or without pay in Ethiopian context according to the ሰራተኞች አዋጅ 515/2007 article 41 to the pregnant civil servant shall be entitled to paid for months preceding of maternity leave and after her confinement then second one is employer purchased insurance second one is employer purchase many 6 encountered throughout life illness including drug dependency and AIDS accident pregnant disability and these among others can be offset by buying insurance in some organization also it is mandatory they are imposed or pushed by the law to that is what purchase insurance for their own employees but that is a premium payment it may be covered by the employee himself or herself but the insurance is purchased by the company or the employer especially the type of company is factory if the types of company is industry so they are imposed by the law so from this aspect which is one of mandatory benefits so mid and large employees can be buying insurance more cheaply than can individual employees so employer sponsored insurance is a preferred benefit but nowadays which is changed into that is bond አሁን ባለው ኮንቴክስት ቦንድ ተቀይሯል መሰለኝ ወደ ቦንድ ለሰራተኞቻቸው ቦንድ ነው የሚገዙት በአሁኑ ኮንቴክስት It is good. Then health insurance, life insurance is these are also employer purchase insurance, disability insurance. Then another one is income retirement. That is retirement income from saving and work, individual retirement accounts. Then simplified employee pension, that is pension coverage, and private pension, that is simple employees pension and private pension. Totally, that is pension coverage. Then this all about that is employee benefits. That's so employee benefits can be classified into two major classifications. Some benefits are mandatory, they already stated by the law, or then the employers are enforced by the law to arrange such compensation or benefits. And some benefits are voluntary, they may not be enforced by the law to arrange such types of compensation. But in our country context, this voluntary compensation also we can categorize mandatory because already stated by the law. And you voluntary የምንላቸውን በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት በኢንተርናሽናል ኮንቴክስት ነው ቮለንታሪ እና ማንዳቶሪ ያለው በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ግን ኦልሬዲ ህግም ላይ የተቀመጡ ስለሆነ ለምሳሌ ወሊድ የምናምን አሰሪ ከፈለገ ሊያስቀር ከፈለገ ሊሰጥ ወይም ሊከለክል የሚችልበት ሁኔታ የለም ለምሳሌ ህክምና ኢልነስም ሲክነስም ሲኖርስ በሰዎች ምርጫ ፍላጎት ላይ የሚሆን አይደለም ወይም በድርጅቶች ምርጫ በህግ የተቀመጠ ነው ስለዚህ በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት ለኝም ቮለንታሪ የሆኑትም ማንዳቶሪ የሚሆኑበት ሁኔታ አለ So the second type of indirect financial compensation is employee service something of category of voluntary benefit including all other benefits or service provided by employer several services more frequently provided by the companies some of them are stock ownership plan if especially if the organization is profitable organization or if the organization is share company ከሆነ አክሲዮን ወይም የሼር ባለቤት እንዲሆኑ ያደርጋሉ አንዱ ሰርቪስ ነው ኤዱኬሽን ፕሮግራም የትምህርት እድል መስጠት ሪታየርመንት ፕሮግራም and child care በእኛ ሀገር ኮንቴክስት አስገዳጅም እየሆነ ነው ማንኛውም ድርጅት የሰራተኞች የልጆች ማቆያ ቦታ እንዲያዘጋጁ ይገደዳሉ ኢልደር ኬር አዛውንቶችንም እንደዚሁ ፋይናንሻል ሰርቪስ social recreational program these are services which is arranged by employers so then when I've seen compensation can be classified into two financial and non-financial are benefit and service but when I've seen benefit can be categorized into two then mandatory and voluntary then when I've seen the service or compensations are thus So next we'll see then establishing pay structure. So compensation can be determined by job evaluation result and then survey data. So we can develop market line and identify different pay structure and establish pay grades or that is a level of payment or maybe that is what salary scale. Or compensation scale, revise pay grades and range as needed, and compute pay range between different individuals. So to avoid such types of problem, nowadays we try to implement one of the management tools and technique, which is what GHE, to especially to minimize or avoid turnover. That is what to compute pay range. Then when I think theory of compensation, there are two theories of compensation, equity theory and expectancy theory. Equity theory says input always is equals to output. Compensation ሁል ጊዜ ምን መሆን አለበት? then what? ከኢንፑት ጋር እኩል መሆን አለበት። ኢንፑት already we have said what? previous ምን ብለናል? ኢንፑት የምንለው የትምህርት አይነት፣ የትምህርት ደረጃ፣ ኤክስፒሪየንስ፣ ልፋት or እነኚህ በሙሉ ኢንፑት output benefit then service financial non-financial voluntary non-voluntary payment or compensation ga equivalent መሆን አለበት ነው which is this theory is known as equity theory expectancy theory also that the payment should be what? Reasonable. Reasonable. ቅድም ልበላ compensation reasonable መሆን አለበት። ሰዎች expect ከሚያደርጉት ጋር ቢያንስ ሰዎች argue ሊያደርጉበት የሚችል መሆን አለበት። no satisfy ባያደርግም ይበቃል ቢያንስ ማለት መቻል አለባቸው። then expectancy theory. Thus theory also in other way they are known as motivation theory. ለዚህ ሁለት ቲዮሪ የሞቲቬሽን ቲዮሪ ምንላቸዋለን የኮምፐንሴሽን ቲዮሪ ምን ሁለቱንም ቲዮሪ ስለሚያወሩ when I say from the motivation aspect equity theory means then when individual motivated then the theory says input when input is equals to output. Expectancy theory also says when individual or anybody are motivated then when if he or she have a belief yes we can do. If he or she have the belief of what yes sir we can. Otherwise they are not motivated. Yes masters በመያዝ እችላለሁ. If he or she have such types of beliefs then she or it directly goes to school or university or college to start education or to start there. Otherwise we masters are alchilum kala he or she have not any motivation. He or she have not any driving force. ስለዚህ ሰዎች ሞቲቬትድ የሚሆኑት መቼ ነው? አደርገዋለሁ፣ እችለዋለሁ፣ እሰራዋለሁ፣ አከናውነዋለሁ፣ እደርስበታለሁ የሚል belief ሲኖራቸው ነው። So this theory is known as expectancy theory. So when I say from compensation aspect, this theory says the compensation must be that is what reasonable መሆን አለበት የሚል compensation. So input is equals to output ነው equity theory. Then input is equals to output equity theory የሚለው over rewardም under rewardም have some problem. Always compensation is input is equals to output መሆን አለበት. So there are many of strategies to resolve the inequalities. Then alter the person outcomes and alter person input, alter the comparison other output, alter comparison other input, and change who is used as a comparison other, and rationalize inequality and leave the organization situation. These are strategies for resolution of inequality when that is what the compensation is over or under. So the second one is already we have discussed on it, expectancy theory. Expectancy theory, effort, performance, reward is always that is what equal with that is what more or less the same. More or less effort, performance, reward, expectancy all just are the issue or the criteria to determine the level of compensation. So compensation must be determined with an account of those issues. So expectancy theory motivation has its own key constants: valence, value or importance, expectancy, belief, and instrumentally believe that performance is related to reward. እነዚህ ሶስት ነገሮች መያዝ አለበት ነው compensation ሲደመር determine ሲደረግ value መኖር አለበት or importance expectancy መኖር አለበት belief and instrumentality እነዚህ ሶስት ኤሌመንቶች with account ወይም consideration ውስጥ አስገብቶ ነው compensation ሴት መደረግ ያለበት. Causes of problem in expectancy theory of motivation: believe that effort will not result in performance. Believe that effort will not result in performance, which is one of the problem or the cause. Believe that performance will not result in a reward. The value a person places on or the performance a person has for certain reward, which is another cause of the problem in expectancy theory. So this all about that is compensation. This all about compensation. So if you have any question, if you have any comments, you can raise. Any question, any idea? But that maybe comments. Any idea? Hello? ጥያቄ ሀሳብ ያለው anyone?
Maybe Dr. Itai is calling you again and again.
Okay.
If you muted him.
Okay.
He is muted, I think.
Yeah, I try to make it mute, but impossible. I don't know what is the problem. I try many times to make it mute. I don't know where is the problem. If you can, please try.
He is asking in here in the chat room, in the chat platform.
Yeah.
He says, "Did you think
I see
the government
his
should pay?" Okay.
message, but I try many times.
Okay.
But I can't.
It says, let
I
me
don't
tell
know.
you the question. Did you think the government should pay compensation to the employees based on their success? It says in here, he jotted it down here. The chat.
Okay. Shall you read his idea? Okay.
Did you think the government should pay compensation?
Did you think the government should pay compensation to employees based on their success with the minister? Anyone have a response on Itai question? His questions is what? Did you think the government should pay compensation to employee based on their success with minister?
Can I come in, doctor? Can I come in?
With you, Mohammed. Okay, Mohammed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. I think this time, this day, not only government, every corporate, every profit-oriented organization should incorporate in its strategy the special type of payment based on performance, based on achievement, and based on specially target. Yesterday, I was in Ethio Telecom, in one branch for requesting a service. And I was surprised with what I have seen there, that all employees are relaxed comparing to the other government and private organizations' working culture. They are more relaxed, but at the same time, they are more effective. So I was surprised, and I asked the manager, what's a strategy that you apply to manage your employees' performance? And he was giving me a chance to discuss with him a couple of minutes, and he told me that there is a target-based incentive for employees in Ethio Telecom, especially in sales area, in branch, and everywhere there is a target-based incentive. So employees are first, they are well paid, and they have also incentive based on target. They have a target for months, for 3 months, quarter. They have a target. So whenever they achieve a target, so they are paid incentive. So he informed me that this helps employees to perform more. When there is a sickness, when there is like day of requests from Ethio Telecom, they don't worry, they give. Because the employees lose for every day he is absent from work. He will be losing incentive. So this kind of approach is very helpful, which I haven't seen even in Ethiopian Airlines, except in sales area. So this is a very good approach. This is a very helpful both for the organization and for the company. So this working modality should be adopted everywhere in government and private organizations, I think. Thank you, Dr.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed. So if there is a success, then compensation is always expected. So success can only compensation expected. Compensation expected. Failure team kalla compensation is expected. But which types of compensation? Compensation, then we can see from different point of view. That maybe that is what? Negative reinforcement. Negatively we can reinforce. Compensate እያደረግነው ነው። Negatively reinforce ስናደርገው then one of the compensation ያው ጥቅም ማግኘት ብቻ ላይሆን ይችላል። ጥቅም ማግኘት then so success ካለ compensation always then what expected ነው then ለዛም እኮ ነው የፐርፎርማንስ ኢቫሉዌሽን ካለ ሁሉ ጊዜ ምን መኖር አለበት የምንለው compensation ወይም ግምገማ የሰራተኛ ወይም ተቋማዊ ግምገማ ከምን ጋር መተሳሰር አለበት ነው ከሪዋርድ ጋር መተሳሰር አለበት የጥቅማ ጥቅም ሜካኒዝም ዲዛይን መደረግ አለበት so if there is success then always expected that is what compensation is always expected ስለዚህ ሁሌ ጥቅማ ጥቅም success ካለ ጥቅማ ጥቅም ሪዋርድ መደረግ አለበት otherwise he or she is not motivated for the next time to do another things ቅድም መሐመድ እንዳለው so ነገ የተሻለ ስራ እንዲሰሩ ነገ አሁንም ፐርፎርም እንዲያደርጉ ዛሬ ምን መሆን አለባቸው ለሚሰሩት ነገር at least say ይዟል thank you at least it better if that is what certificate so because ምን ብለናል motivation and demotivation arise from different set of factors then let's say that is what recognition and respect is the source of what motivation like compensate እናደርገው ምን ያደርገው ነው then recognize ያደርገው ነው respect ያደርገው ነው if there is respect if there is recognition always there is what motivation the people that are motivated to take another assignment to do extra work to do extra assignment ስለዚህ success ካለ ሁሌ compensation መኖር አለበት wherever whether the organization is government or private whether profitable or non profitable everywhere that is compensation expected if there is success I think Thai question is addressed by this issue so another individual who have any idea or any comment any suggestion or maybe question you can raise yes otherwise if you have any idea then it's better to stop here enough for today then we'll continue next similar so assignment late ሆናችሁ assignment ያላጠናቀቃችሁ assignment አጠናቁ ባለፈው ሁለት አሳይመንቶችን ሰጥቻለሁ አብዛኞቻችሁ ልካችኋል ያው ታይሙ በጣም ስለራቀና ብዙዎቻችሁ ረስታችሁት ሊሆን ይችላል so ሁለት አሳይመንቶችን ሰጥቻለሁ today also I send to the two quiz for your representative ግርማ ሞገስ ሁለት ኩይዞችን ልክያለሁ ስለዚህ እነሱን within 50 or within a week forward እንድታደርጉ ወይ ማታች እንድታደርጉ ኦኬ
ደርሶናል
ኦኬ ስለዚህ within a week ነው within a week ሁለቱንም ትልኩልኛላችሁ ኦኬ thank you
doctor
okay thank you
thank you
okay thank you
doctor
okay
thank you
ልዩነት መፍጠር ዓላማችን ነው ዓለም አቀፍ ተወዳዳሪ መሆን አለባችሁ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ጥራትና ደረጃውን የጠበቀ ስልጠና በመስጠት ብቁ ዜጋ ያፈራን ነው በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን በበረራ መስተንግዶ በቲኬቲንግና ሪዘርቬሽን በሆቴልና ቱሪዝም ሙያዎች አሰልጥነን ተወዳዳሪ እናደርጉታለን ኮሌጃችን ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ICM ጋር በመተባበር ዓለም አቀፍ ዕውቅና ያለው ስልጠና እየሰጠ ይገኛል በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን በበረራ መስተንግዶ የምንሰጣቸው ስልጠና ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ ዕውቅና አለው አድራሻ ከጎላጉል ታወር 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ህልሞን